So let's talk about online events. Are you tired of them feeling like just one long webinar after another? Endless Zoom calls where you're just passively watching? Yeah, you are not alone. Today, we're going to break down a conference for learning professionals that just completely rips up that old playbook. It's called GameyCon 48V, and believe me, it is built on a totally different philosophy.
This gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? If you design or deliver training for a living, you've probably felt this in your bones. That nagging feeling that the old ways, the click-through modules, the standard slide decks, they just aren't hitting the mark. Engagement's dropping, and trying to prove you're making a real impact, it feels harder than ever.
And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do we stop just pushing content out there and start creating actual experiences? Experiences that connect with people, that actually change how they do things and, deliver real bottom-line results for the business.
Okay, so who's really on the front lines of this whole engagement crisis every single day? Let's take a look at the exact community of pros that this experience was really built for.
This is for the folks in the trenches. We're talking about instructional designers, learning experience designers, facilitators, and learning leaders. If you're one of the people on the ground trying to make a genuine difference, this is your tribe. It's for people who want to roll up their sleeves and do the work, not just sit around and talk about it.
So, with that huge challenge staring us in the face, what's the solution? Well, this is where GameyCon 48V comes in, and it's positioned not as just another online conference, but as a totally reimagined way to think about our own professional development.
So what is it, really? At its core, GameyCon 48V is a 48-hour, non-stop global experience. It's all about gamification for workplace training. And here's the single biggest difference. This is not a conference you watch. It's an experience you actively participate in.
48, that's the key number here. 48 continuous hours. The whole event just runs non-stop, which means that no matter what time zone you're in, whether it's morning in Mumbai or evening in Chicago, you can jump in and be part of the live action when it works for you. And it's all happening in one single global space online. That means it's accessible from anywhere. No flights, no hotels, and maybe best of all, you get full replay access, so there's zero stress about missing out on something amazing.
But honestly, the secret sauce, the thing that really makes this different, is the method. It's a complete shift away from just passively listening to someone talk. It is all about learning by doing.
The whole experience is built on these three core pillars. You've got the design labs, where you're getting your hands dirty with real challenges. There's the arcade, where you can actually play and pick apart real-world learning games. And then you have the talent exchange for these amazing, focused, peer-led discussions. The main thing is you are always doing, building, or discussing something. And here's the most important part, the real takeaway. This is all about practical application. Forget high-level abstract theory. The goal here could not be simpler. When you log off, you leave with a whole toolkit of ideas you can put to work the very next day.
An event like this is only as good as the people who show up. And that right there is where the global community becomes so incredibly powerful.
And this is where things get really interesting. The people attending are often the very same people who are presenting. They're all practitioners, designers, and innovators right from the field. It creates this amazing peer-to-peer learning environment. So you're not just learning from some expert on a virtual stage, you're learning from your colleagues who are tackling the exact same stuff you are. And we're not just talking about regional thing. This event brings people together from literally dozens of countries. I mean, just imagine hearing how someone in Singapore or Berlin is solving a problem that's been driving you crazy for months. That global perspective is a massive part of the value. But GameyCon 48V actually goes even deeper. Beyond all the skills and the networking, there's this whole other layer to the experience, one with story, with soul, and with real impact that truly sets it apart from anything else. See, the entire event is wrapped inside this narrative theme called Axiom Awakens. What that means is your journey through the conference is actually part of a bigger story of discovery. You're not just attending sessions, you're literally uncovering clues and making choices inside a gamified world.
And that whole immersive experience, it's connected to a very real-world purpose.
That number, 20%, it's a big deal. It represents the piece of every single registration fee that gets donated to Crossroads. They're a nonprofit that connects global surplus with global need. So as you're investing in yourself and your career, you're also directly helping them do their incredible work. And that brings us to the end. This event is actually the final chapter in a three-part narrative story. It's designed from the ground up to be a journey of discovery. So the real question isn't just what the conference can offer you, but what will you uncover? for yourself, for your work, and for the future of learning.